Hey, how's it going, everybody? Jeremy Donson here with thedrumprofessor.com. Today we're going to be going over How You Remind Me by Nickelback. And as always, if you have any questions about anything else in the song or any song for that matter, then just go to my website, thedrumprofessor.com, and sign up for your free live one-on-one session with me. We can go over anything that you need help with. So feel free to do that. It'd be great to meet you guys and see how I can help. And we're going to get started at 28 seconds in the song. Here we go. You remind me of what I really am. Not like you. Sorry, I won't deny the story. This time I'm thinking more than you are was breaking. And I've been wrong, I've been down to the bottom of every bottle. Just got words in my head. All right, so at the beginning of the fill, we're going to hit snare and hi-hat together, and that's a heavy hi-hat. Then we're going to do 3 snare and floor toms, 1 and 2 and. Then we're going to do 3 E and 4 E and on the snare and crash on 1 with the bass drum. So putting all 3 of those parts together, 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Alright, so once we finish the intro fill to the chorus, we're starting on the crash that we just ended on. This crash starts the next section of the beat here. It's going to be heavy hi-hat, so slightly separated there, where they rattle against each other. So we're going to go bass, 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 bass. Now, after that, bass, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare. So you do bass, bass, snare, and twice. The beginning of the first bass, bass, snare is with the crash that starts it, right? So then you do 1 bass. So bass, bass, snare, and bass, bass, snare, and bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, and crash. Putting it together at tempo. Now, getting up to that part, once you finish the section that we just broke down and you crash the next time, it's actually a little bit more simple. So you're going to do bass and snare and bass, bass, snare and. You're going to do that 2 times. So putting both of those together. Now, after we do all that, you end with that hi-hat, bass, bass, snare, and then it comes to the choking section of this chorus. So we're going to do crash, choke, and you're going to choke and hit the snare at the same time. So crash, choke, like that. Now, once you finish the crash choke, you're actually going to go back to the crash cymbal instead of the hi-hat. You're not going to go to the hi-hat this time. Alright, so let's see what this next part sounds like. Alright, so once you do the crash choke snare, so you're going to do the same thing that you did before that, which is bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, but you're going to do it on a crash cymbal instead of the heavy hi-hat, and there's a crash in between. So choking section and next. this next part, let me break this down for you. So the fill, in my opinion, is really neat. I like the way the drummer does a lot of his fills. It's very cool. I think it's cool anyway. But all right, so after we do the 2 measures there, we're gonna go bass, snare, snare, bass. So bass, snare, snare, bass. Bass by itself. Bass, snare, snare, bass. All right, now after that, we're gonna do and snare. So bass, snare, snare, bass, and snare. So we should really break that down. So the first few hits are with the crash cymbal. Bass, snare, snare. Those 3 are with the crash. The next bass is independent. It's by itself. Bass, snare, snare, bass. Bass, snare, snare, bass. After that bass, bass, snare, snare, bass, and snare. And snare is next, and the snare is by itself. So bass, snare, snare, bass, and snare. So what I would recommend doing is breaking this part down. Remember, there's 3 things you always want to do when you're learning something new. Slow it down, break it down, and say it and play it. So let's start on the snare here. Snare, bass, snare, bass, and snare, bass, and the next part, snare, bass, and snare. Snare, bass, and snare. Okay. All right, so putting it together. Now, the next part is fairly confusing to get used to unless you've done these types of beats before. It could be a little confusing. So the next part you're going to do bass, bass, and the first bass has a crash on it. So okay, now after that, you're going to go snare, snare together. Snare, snare, bass by itself. Another bass by itself. So putting it all together. Okay, at tempo. Now, after that last snare, snare bass, the end of that section, we're going to do a splash and then a crash. Okay, and then that concludes what we covered in this video, but that's a really fun part. Alright, and that concludes this part of the song. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed playing and teaching this song. It's old school for me. I've listened to it for a long time. So if you guys need any additional help, just let me know. And thanks to all my subscribers and viewers and weekly students. I really do appreciate your support, and I'm happy to help you guys. So have fun, stay awesome, and rock on. Later, guys.